Log into gyroscopeme.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio, internet radio station powered by GMG, LLC.
In the beginning, there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And after a while, a deep sleep fell upon him, and he went looking for a new groove. He began looking for a new nation, and it had to be a soulful nation. And he found it, and it was Soulful House Nation. And he saw a building. It was a tall building. It had 10 stories, and he entered the building and got on the elevator and pushed the 10th floor. But it stopped on the 8th floor. And that's where he found his new groove. And he began to jack and jack and jack and jack. And he knew that this was it. It was Soulful House Nation on the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Suspect in the company is Madam Hostess. We'll come up with the right thing yet. The Madam Hostess, Annette, and okay. Anyway, well, first of all, just want to say, hey, it's so good to see you guys again. A few things. I just want to say, first of all, thanks to King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for our theme song, but also too want to just give a big posthumous shout out to Chuck Roberts for our vocal drop in the beginning. There was Jack. Anyway, so just want to say thanks to them. But listen, you can also see us now on of course, Facebook, YouTube. Let's see, the website, Vimeo, X, and a whole bunch of other places. And then
Twitch.
huh? Yeah, Twitch. That was my next statement. Anyway,
We're here.
yeah, we're here. Right, that's right. We're here. We're here. We're connecting. So just what we're gonna do today. First, we're gonna do just a real quick recap. Make sure you check out last week's interview. That was DJ Mitch, the people pleaser. And that was a really good interview. And we talked about his career stuff, but we also talked about industry stuff. We talked about music, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In addition to that, after they do that, we're going to play the number one song according to Track Source this week. It's a new song by Ellis Aaron, and it's called Do It for the Soul. We're going to give you the updates. We have some with Foxy. Foxy, we're going to do our old school song of the week that Foxy's called Get Off. Of course, we're going to play a little snippet because, Faith has a nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. And then we're just going to have some conversation. Our special guest is Anthony Utility, so we're super excited about that. So, Chuck, just play a little snippet of the new number one song of the week, Do It for the Soul. As usual, we're going to play a little snippet because, Faith with the nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. Chuck? Coming to you live from the 8th floor. I am the unusual suspect. This is the Soulful House Nation show, and we are really getting ready to do this. So let me just give you some updates here. Okay. First of all, this week our special guest is Anthony Utility, and this gentleman is a really good guest because he's been in the game for a while. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that he's done, a lot of stuff that's coming, etc. So that's our special guest. Also, this Wednesday, there may be a flyer that says the 12th on it, but that, I don't know about that, but it's the 14th. Either way, it's the 14th. And I'm going to be DJing for a young lady who has a birthday party. I wonder who that could be. Oh, that must be you. Madam Hostess.
Yes, of course.
that,
I'm really excited about my birthday party. Thank you, Dan.
Absolutely.
Check out Team Thomas and Dolce.
Yes, Team Thomas. And speaking of Team Thomas, Shawanda is going to do the double nickel party on the 21st. No, she's going to be 55, double nickel.
Yes.
And then on the 19th, we're going to bring on Curtis McLean. Now, just in case you don't know who Curtis McLean is, you probably know the song by Marshall Jefferson, Move Your Body. You gotta have house music all night long, which really is the anthem. I don't know how another song could have beat that out in somebody's rating of it, when that really is the anthem. And he's the actual gentleman who did the vocals on Move Your Body. With Marshall Jefferson. So he actually did the vocals. So those are some things that happen. And then also, too, I want to just do another thing here. On June 1st is the deadline, and that's for Sultan's SMB's Cruise 2025. It's going to be from August 31st to September 7th. And it's a Virgo celebration, 7-day cruise, and it's leaving from Bayonne, New Jersey. So which is really good because for us from this area, you don't have to hop on a plane, you have to drive anywhere other than to Bayonne, and you can have somebody drop you off, pick you up, take a lift, etc. And then there's going to be dancing on the water and on land. And then they're going to have some of New Jersey's hottest DJs. So that's going to be good. Then they're going to be visiting, Magic Place at Disney. There's port stops, Orlando, Florida, Coco Cay Island, and Nassau in the Bahamas. So it's like a really, really good trip. And the deposit's only $250, but you got to have that money in very, very shortly. I'm like talking by June 1st, you got to be done, finished, and ready to go. So that's going to be a great event. So for those of you who are available, do it. Okay. You know how to DJ
add to that. I'd like to add to that.
Okay.
Happy belated birthday to the First Lady, Alice. Happy belated birthday, Alice. Love you.
Okay. All right.
And she rests
Unfortunately,
peacefully.
yes. She's unfortunately she's not with us anymore. But
No, she's not.
Alice was my buddy. Alice appreciated two things about me. Okay. Number one, she appreciated my love for cake, and she used to always make sure that either she saved a piece or something that I got some cake with her. And then, of course, the second thing is, I think another thing that kind of set her apart from everybody else is she is one of the few people on the planet that appreciated my humor. Anyway, so at least in front of me. No, she did. She was all right. So listen, let's play.
Love you, Alice.
Yes. Yes. We're going to play a snippet of the old school song, and our special guest is here. I'm super excited about it. Chuck, would you play just a little snippet of it? This is our old school track. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest is here, Anthony Utility. Anthony, how are you, sir?
Peace, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, good. I like to tell everybody I'm on this side of the dirt, so it's a good day, Well, listen, let's get started with the easy stuff. Just tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm from Jersey,
Okay.
born, raised, decided to say that.
Yes.
I've been producing music since I was like 14, 13 years old. I've been DJing since I was around 7.
Wow.
And I worked with artists and did artist development since I was probably around 17. I've been on radio stations from, I'm not sure if y'all know, 1430 WNJR
The
and
Black
up.
Yeah.
Rock of the great
Yes.
East Coast.
So,
Yes,
but
we know that station.
yeah, that's back in the day right there for me.
Yes.
But, you know.
Oh,
OG radio.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the NJR, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Now, well, how did you get started with music?
I was born into it.
Okay.
My father was a musician. He played 2 instruments. My grandfather played 6 instruments. My uncles play instruments and sing. So it
Wow.
was just guaranteed to happen for me. It was destiny.
Wow. Okay. I see that now. Now you mentioned your parents and your family. How about some other early influences outside of your family?
Believe it or not, the biggest influence in my life when it came to music was my father and my grandfather.
Okay.
I love that.
And he was a big Jimi Hendrix fan, my father.
Okay.
So that made me a big Jimi Hendrix fan. So that gave me a certain feel for certain sounds at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All along the Watchtower, all that kind of stuff like that. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, how about this? How about early DJ influences?
Early DJ influence is crazy because it still stays in the family circle pretty much.
Okay.
One of my cousins, they used to have a cookout we used to do when I was young. It was a big family cookout we used to do in South Mountain Reservation in South Orange.
Okay.
And my cousins used to DJ for the cookout every year. And I used to beg to get on.
Okay.
So so around that time is when I first started, and then I purchased my first turntables. They was some kind of they wasn't even they was direct drive turntables actually, and I had to put like slip max and extra records on top of them to make them spin correctly.
Okay.
You know, it
And
worked.
that's pretty much what influenced me to start DJing.
So sounds like SLD ones, cause I had the B ones and the D ones, the direct
Y-
drive and the belt drive. And
Yeah,
so okay, well
that's
you
what it was, a belt drive. Yeah.
I had the SLB ones, and I would
Mhm.
have to hold it, and it would kind of jump. Anyway, that's going back a
That's
minute.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but now, but now, what made you decide to DJ versus? Because most people just listen to the music or whatever. But what made you decide to DJ?
Honestly, because I like the feel it gave people. That's what made me also start um, doing production when it comes to doing shows, concerts, parties, things of that nature. Was because I like to see people enjoy themselves. I like the energy you could create,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing like basement backyard parties since I
Uh
was like 10, 11.
oh.
I started, DJing, making money from DJing when I was like 13,
Gotcha.
where you had to pay me or I wasn't doing it, because
Gotcha.
I had to get people to carry crates of records back then.
Just,
And
just a side question. Do you miss carrying all those crates?
well, the funny part, I actually still have a lot of my records.
Yeah.
I have over, if it was in crates, I probably have about 1,000 crates of records.
Gotcha.
I have them in like a books casing type thing in my studio with some of them. Then I have some at other places. But yeah, I pretty much got most of my records and still collect records.
Okay. Now, do you miss carrying those records to events and loading them up?
Ah, well, that's the point of having other people you was hiring.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
but but actually, I missed the feel of doing that because
Okay.
it brought people together more. You had to you had to network with people
Mm-hmm.
to work with you because you didn't want to carry them records by
Got you.
yourself.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. It's funny you would say that because when the CDs came out, the layoff slip, the layoff
The
slips were
whole
back.
thing.
That's right.
Whole thing.
Uh, you know, uh, Billy Bob, it's been real, but I got this case and I can carry thousands of songs in it. We still love you, but
Yeah. Yeah. Now I don't go nowhere without my music. I just carry my laptop with me everywhere I go just in case I need to pop it out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then now there's the move towards flash drives, especially if you play a lot of house music sets. You can't even bring in
Yeah.
a controller or anything like that to play with a laptop. You just gotta go straight. You gotta have them on your flash drive and go. Yeah. Now, how about this? You started based on obviously you started before house music and all that, and I find two things. Number one is that every person I have interviewed had club and hip hop in their background. Was that
Hmm.
the case for you?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
And the funny part, I started with more doing funk soul first.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And we used to do like break beats. And,
Okay.
I used to, play with the turntables heavy when it comes to like juggling and, things of that nature back then.
Okay.
And, in club classes, actually. That's what I pretty much started with.
Okay.
And then it went to house music for me
Mhm.
and R&B and pop, everything else.
Mhm. tell you, it's pretty interesting to see. Now that's when I guess as things went on, that's when you started programming house. When would you say that became a part of your programming? And were you able to do that right away, or you had to bring people in, or if you found you playing hip hop, you had to play straight hip hop, you're playing classical? What's been your experience? I think you might. Okay. I think you might
Is
have.
he there?
Yeah, I think you might.
You hear me now?
I can hear
My
you now. Yeah, we can't see you though.
Oh,
No.
I don't know why. I don't know what's
Yeah,
going on with this.
yeah. There we go. Now we talking.
I
Now we
had to
talking.
swipe over, huh?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. With my experience, it was really, you had to know how to play everything. You had to rock a party. It wasn't, you could just go and there was a house music party or it was a hip hop party. It was just a party. They wanted to hear everything,
Mm-hmm.
from when I grew up. Actually, I feel like within the last 10 to 15 years, I start hearing the more of a name of, I'm a house music DJ, or I'm a this type of DJ, or and they put them in categories.
Right.
Before then, you was just a DJ or you wasn't.
Right.
True.
Well, that's all true. In fact, and you know what too though. This is something else I find. I find that most quote unquote house music DJs can do more than house music. Most of
Yeah.
them have versatility like that, but and then the hard part is too is like let's say somebody checks you out and they hear you playing straight up house, that's all they see. They may not hire you for, let's say, a mobile party only because they, hey, well, we're gonna have people into R&B, we're gonna have people into hip hop, we're gonna have people, and this guy like him, but or like her, but she only plays house. So there's kind of like it's a plus and a minus. It's a plus in the sense that people who are into house will pick you up. It's a minus in the sense that people may think that's all you do when you have a bigger repertoire than straight up house. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I pretty much agree with you 100%. I always tell people you never limit yourself to anything. Um, I always believe the more you know how to do, the stronger you become as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I never limit myself. I never stop learning,
Mm-hmm.
and I just move forward from there.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, how about this? Where? No. Let me ask you this first. Who are some of your favorite artists, classics, and today's music? Who are some of your favorite people?
Be honest, my favorite artist is Patti LaBelle.
Really? Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
the
Okay.
queen.
yes.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Now, how about Okay. Listen, that's a good one. Now, where is house music headed? Where do you see that headed?
In your opinion.
Honestly, I think it's one of them things where there's no right or wrong answer for it. I just see it. I just say I can't wait to see where it goes. I know what I'm doing for it. Like I produced a couple of new songs. I actually got a song I didn't drop it yet with Dawn Soul Loving.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Holding On. It
Mm-hmm.
seemed like that's gonna do pretty well. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you heard about the song I did that everybody. It's the remake I made with Deliver Me
Mm-hmm.
that seems like everybody in Jersey plays right now
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
with Leandria. But I always look to see what the next thing could be. I would love to see where people are going to try to take the tracks, even not only house but R&B, everything. I always like to see what's next,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to be a part of the front runner of what is going to come next.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm gonna ask Madam Hostess to jump
Anthony,
Yes.
do you mind if I call you Anthony?
You take me back to when I was about 10 years old, 11 years old, saying that.
That's the
I
homework. That's the
actually call
homework.
everyone that I know Anthony.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they most people call me Ant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you took me back saying Anthony.
Uh-huh.
That's a good thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. I have a
Nothing wrong with
question.
it though.
How did you come up with the name? How did you create the name Anthony Utility?
Because the company is Utility Entertainment. And I started that company in no, actually 2002. I started Utility Entertainment. Before Utility Entertainment, I used to work with one of my cousins, and we had Gap Town Records. That was a hip hop label, and that's actually when I was on WNJR. We did Gap Town radio and things of that nature. It was, it's more like what they call boom bat type radio we was doing back then. With Utility, we said I wanted to make sure people know that we could do it all. There's no limit, but you're gonna always need me, or it's just like you cut your lights on, and you like, oh, it's not important until you see them cut it off. That's what I wanted to make sure I was.
You're walking around with candles. I got you.
So I'm basically the one that can supply you with anything you need when it comes to entertainment.
Say that. Say that. I love it. So let's talk about your journey, Anthony. How'd you start producing, and who were some of your early influences as far as producers go?
Well, when it comes to producing, you gotta always God bless the past. 45 Kane, he one of my early influences when it came to producing. I'm not sure if y'all know exactly who he is.
Yeah, he just passed not
Uh,
too long ago.
yeah, a few years ago. He was one of my earliest influence and one of the first producers that was on a major scene that I met personally. Also Premier, he was one of my big influence when I was young. And
Okay.
believe it or not, it goes back to my father. He was a writer, producer, and wrote his own music and everything as well. And I have cousins, like I have a cousin I just spoke to the other day. He's a gospel world renowned singer, platinum artist, everything like that. And he been doing it since he was like 14, 13 years old. He was just on talking to me about that and said, make sure you remember it all started from your parents. That's how I'm here where I'm at right now. He used to
Yeah.
tour with like Mighty Clouds of Joy, everything else. His name is Charles Youngblood. So me seeing all them and hearing that type of live music was really, believe it or not, helped me see that I can create music too. And I just started doing it.
Beautiful. So I'm aware of your track that you did with Kenny Bobian. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
Can you share a little bit of information about that? How was that? How was it working with Uncle Kenny?
Kenny is like family to me, first of all. And Kenny actually came around when we did that song. It's heart crunching a little bit because that's when I lost my wife. And I basically was in a little bit of a dark place, and I was me when I get into them kind of stages, I just go into my music and just lock in to try to get myself back in the right in the right space. And
Mm-hmm.
Kenny said, "And I need to see you, man. I want to make sure you're okay." He came, stayed at my house for like 3 or 4 days, and we made nothing but music. And next thing I know, "Be All Right" was one of the first songs we made because he said, "Man, you gonna be all right," and I'm gonna write a song. We're gonna do a song that shows you that you're gonna be all right, and that's basically what the whole lyrics, everything came from talking about how we all gonna be all right. We can keep moving forward. Things will work out.
Yes, I love that story. I love it, Anthony. I love it. So this is pretty serious right now. What can you share about engineering? Is there anything you can share about engineering for the young engineers that are coming up in the industry?
Oh man, the number one thing you tell a person that want to do to be an engineer is just do it. Just like the Nike's commercial. You gotta just do it, and you gotta believe in what you do, and it all will fall in place. And just keep doing your homework.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. Great answer. Great answer, Ant. Great answer.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I learned from the best. You teaching me a lot.
You, can I just jump on one little part of that question? Um, it always comes down to put the work in. So let's say if we say, and whether it's no matter what these are, let's say, can you name like three like practical things that they could do to just to do it, so that if I'm listening to this or I hear this, I say, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, and then
Oh, you saying as into making a track?
no, I mean as far let's say if I want to be engineering in the studio,
Okay.
just give me like maybe um, three practical things that I could start doing today when I just do it. Where do I start? What do I do? I just want
The number one thing is to have the right software
to.
and the
Okay.
right sound equipment. In other words, don't try to cut corners. Buy the best stuff first. It costs more for a reason, so you don't have to pay for it later and say now I need to upgrade and buy it all over again, and you end up wasting more money and time than anything. As well as you know your sounds steady enough to know that a mix is not just putting it together and it's going to just sound okay. It's an art form, it's a skill, it's a talent. It's still, you just can't go on the computer and just pop it in and all of a sudden it's going to be to a high quality. It's something you really have to learn to do. That's
Hmm.
why it goes back to just locking in, learning your craft, studying your craft, and making it happen.
Hmm. I like that. I want to talk a little bit about your song with Dawn Soul Lovins Williams, The Fabulous Dawn. Can you share a little bit about what you have going on with Dawn?
Sure. The song "Holding On" actually was produced by me and a friend of mine named Hassan Smith and Donathan Jackson. Hassan Smith is a world-renowned writer. Donathan Jackson is his name says it all. You might as well thought he was part of the Jacksons because that man plays music, sings, and he worked with almost everybody in the industry from Faith Evans, Lauryn Hill, you name them. As well as he got a couple of plaques. But what happened was the original song of "Holding On" is a Luther Barnes, a gospel singer named Luther Barnes, a world-renowned writer. It was his song. It is his song, and it was a slow, a little dreary type song. Some people sing them at funerals. But one day I just felt like it always had this punch and this energy. And I remember when I was young, someone used to sing it to me every once in a while because the song was made in the 80s.
Okay.
Um, so I had another artist named Essie Wilson that was signed to me. Sadly, that she dropped the ball and we moved forward. And that song was originally for her.
Oh.
And so once me and Dawn was speaking one day, I told Dawn, "Know what? I got something for you. I keep saying I'm gonna make something with you. Now I'm really gonna do it." So that was our first song in a test run of us working together in the studio when that "Holding On" came up. And that wasn't that long ago, actually. It's probably about a month and a half ago or so when we did the song. So she re-sung it. She learned that I might have a little more knowledge in music than she remembered because that's one of the things she kept telling me. I didn't know you do that much.
Okay.
But
Good.
Dawn was real easy to work with. We locked in. I think the song is going to be a hit, honestly.
I can't wait to hear it.
Oh yeah, I wish I should have sent you a snippet. I dropped the ball on that.
But you will, though.
Oh, I definitely will.
Thank you. Thank you. Dan?
Yeah. Okay. So, um, okay. Okay. The first question I have is, do you have a preference for DJing, promoting? 'Cause I know you promote and everything like that. Um, I don't know if you write or not, but the I said yes. And DJ, produce, promote, write. I think you're even a notary public. Is that right? No, just kidding about that.
If I could pull it off, I would.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, do you have a preference for either of them?
Honestly, no. I think each DJing, honestly, I felt like always was the start. Well, with me, it started off with my parents and them told me like you still need to learn to play an instrument better than that. DJing is don't count as an instrument. So as I got older, then they said, "No, what? You're right. It is an instrument. We got used to it now. It's okay." So I went to that stage in life, and then most DJs that I seen they turn into producers,
Right.
and that's what happened with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a stage. And next thing I know, I was producing because I'm not sure if you're familiar. I think you are with the. They started with them Gemini sampler boxes and stuff like that that was hooked up to your turntables and the mixer. And just having that sampler box, I started creating my own new sound live.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned into, man, you don't understand that you're already producing. And that's when it went further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
So, you know, what's interesting about this is that it's really, really powerful to hear a song, and as a producer, you can go in and recreate that song. If you think it needs this or it needs that, in the case of the song Holding On, you felt that there was a different beat to it or there's something different that could be done with this song. And I just want to know, when you listen to music, I think you listen to music a little bit differently than most people. Would you say that? Because you not only hear what you hear, but you hear what's possible. Do you have a process or a pattern or something of
Now,
songs that you pick?
I'll be lying by not just saying it was a God's gift.
Okay.
I said between my family background and them creating me, and I just happen to have a little bit of day knowledge
Okay.
that was passed on to me. I think it's just a gift,
Okay.
not
Well.
something I can explain.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't even understand it.
Now,
Okay.
do you now when you're gonna do something, do you like hear it in your head, or you just start doing something, or you just sit down and start doing something, then say, okay, this comes, or I'm just wondering how that process works.
I could say if I'm working with an artist, perfect example,
Mm-hmm.
it take me time to decide on what this artist need and how can I make this artist better.
Okay.
And I literally just once I know what I want to do, as in if I feel like, oh yeah, they got this type of sound, but I need to give them more of a Chris Brown feel without them sounding like Chris Brown. How can we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, I just lock into the studio and it just comes out.
Got you.
Voila.
Boom.
I really can't say why or how. I think it's a gift, it's a God's gift to me when it came to doing that. Like as well as my family, we was contractors, producers, anything that came to working with your hands. When it came to on my father's side,
Mm-hmm.
we can do, and I was actually born with that gift as well.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I'd like, please.
mhm. Go ahead, madam. Yeah. Um, you know, again, as I'm talking and having conversations, things are popping into my head. So just, um, so,
Yeah.
so, so, um, so with your background, DJing, producing, all that, when it comes to making music or DJing, do either of them play off each other, or and if so, how? Because
Of course, yeah.
maybe it's the
Oh,
songs that you would play together. Maybe it's you hear something that other people talk to us about it.
definitely house music. When you're doing house music and I'm in a party and I'm hearing people vibe,
Mm-hmm.
I listen to. Sometimes I just listen to the bottom of the drum
Okay.
and I see what part of this drum make them really jump.
Mm.
Because some people look at, oh, it's a tribal beat, so I love it. But
Mm-hmm.
I listen to what is it, the 808 or is it the 809?
Okay, got you.
And then oh, okay, I see what they jump into,
Mm-hmm.
what part, or I hear a bell here and I seen how the woman all of a sudden start ready to smack a fan. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
that's what I want then. How can I put all this together?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's funny because me saying the word smack a fan brings me back to something. I actually created a song before the Where the Fans Act came out, and we supposed to been doing a video with the artist Essie. I had where the whole beat was pretty much made out of the slap of a fan. Now,
Wow.
no, whoever that's a producer out there, do not be trying to steal my idea. It's already done.
You hear me here?
It's been done. I just ain't released it yet. I'm waiting to put the right artists on it now.
Okay. Well,
But all you do is just off the slap of a fan. The whole beat was made off of the fan, the clap of the sound of a fan. And I literally, when I recorded, I grab a fan and I had to slap the fan so I could grab that sound that I wanted from it. And then I recorded everything and broke it down from there.
well, too, what's interesting now, and I've got the software too, and I just never. It takes a lot of time to really get this and get this done. I mean, after you really get an understanding, you could probably walk in the studio, within 15 minutes you got something going. But I'm sure it took a lot of time, despite talent. Like Michael Jordan was very talented, but he still had to put the work in. So
That's right.
my
Yeah.
question to you is, like, what does it take? Can you share the software you use? But in my estimation, I hear people and see people using different types of software. So it seems like that's not the secret sauce right
No, it's not.
there. Okay. It seems
The software don't make the person. It still come back to your skill and what you hear. You don't even have to be the engineer to make a crazy beat. Because in the past, when I first started going to studios, you when I make a track, I still had to. I never touched the equipment. I had to pretty much tell the engineer what I wanted them to do. We wasn't really touching the equipment. Most engineers didn't even allow us to touch the equipment. So, times change, of course, and things got a little better and easier when it comes to certain things. But basically, we had our MPC and we had to put it in the studio like, yeah, this is where I want to start at. And then they popping it on the reel of reels, like, you ready to really record? And it's like, okay, everything you do is on you now. You go buy the reel of reel, you do everything. But we still going to put the highs, the bells where you want it at. You just wait and tell me what you want to be where.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's a software thing at all. I think it's more about you just got to know what you want and what you hear. That's what makes you a beat maker, I'll say. Because a producer is a whole total different category. You ask me. Some people might debate about that, but I don't. I feel that like there's beat makers and then there's producers. Then there's people that could do everything,
Okay.
as in they could make the beat and they could produce the artist or the song.
Okay. So make the distinction for us regular folks.
Well, these days you got a lot of beat makers. They got a little software. They just make a nice track. They might get lucky. They grab samples that's not even broken up that well, and they put it together, and all of a sudden they got a song. And you hear it. You hear that you don't have too much of a vibe, too much of an energy in it. But then you have producers. They grab an artist. They basically they make a track for that artist, and then they tell the artist how we're going to do it. The artist could write the song, everything, but now that producer going to hear what going to help make this a chance of being a hit, because nobody know when they're going to make a hit, really. But they going to give it a better opportunity to do that. The best example is like if you look at like Nas, his early projects, you hear it was all classic music. And then he walked away from Premier and other producers that was on that project, and you heard a different type of Nas. I'm not saying that doesn't mean he wasn't talented. Of course, he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. But you hear the distinction in the music because he was using a different person.
Hmm.
It's pretty interesting. So I DJ also, and one
Okay.
day, assuming I live long enough, I'm gonna produce.
I'm sure you could produce already. Cut it out.
But I hear things in music, and I hear things like I hear hand claps in certain songs. I hear where sometimes even on a house track, I feel like there could be like maybe up like if somebody hits 16 bars or something. Yeah, hit 4 bars, it should say something like that, or 16. Yeah, 16. No, I got it right. 16 bars. Um,
Mm.
I sometimes I hear bells. Sometimes I hear like this is a
Toast.
song, yeah, like where it could be a party going on, and maybe I hear whistles and stuff like that. And I know I have the software to do it, but I just gotta, there's no getting around the work. Put it that way. If you're gonna personally do it.
Mm.
So.
And it also it goes by, if you hear it, just put it together, lay it down.
Mhm.
And in other words, if I say it like this, you've got the software. If
Mhm.
even if you don't know exactly how to use it, there's a thing called YouTube. So
Okay.
we really don't have no excuse these days besides to just put it down, get in there, put it down, lay it down.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who else said that to me? And I happened to mention it. Shino Black. He said, "Dan, I want to see something. One day, I'm telling you, I'm gonna live long enough to do this. Anyway,
Believe
um,
you.
yeah,
I believe
yeah.
you.
Now, what's on the horizon for you that you can share?
Well, I'm working with some new artists, of course. I got a kid named Niel. He got a lot of potential. He's more of an R&B pop guy.
Mm-hmm.
He about 6'2".
Mm.
I could tell he's like the ladies' man type thing when it comes to the females gonna like his look.
Mm-hmm.
He's athletic, built, so he
Mm-hmm.
definitely gonna go strong in that pop world. And he got a
Mm.
nice voice. He got a voice that if I was inside my studio right now, I'd be
Mhm.
able to play you some tracks. I wish I
Mm.
dropped the ball. I forgot that I needed to be at the studio at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
okay. It's
so I,
okay.
I owe you that. I owe you that on another day. I definitely owe
Okay.
you that studio interview so we could lock
Good.
in a little bit. But
Yeah.
Niel, he got a lot of potential, and that's one of the main ones we working on setting, locking in the deal and everything.
Mm-hmm.
As well as, I got a lot of artists that's already established that I already produce. And I'm producing music for as we speak.
Mm.
As the locks and
I love the
and
lot.
a lot of other people. As I don't know how many names I really could say, so I just say I'm working with some artists
Okay.
right now.
All right.
That's enough. That sounds good.
Yeah.
That
Um,
sounds good.
Anybody that you can share that you've worked with in the past, any places you played, any places you
Oof.
want to play, and talk about.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I told somebody else this before. I remember, God bless the dead, my little brother Tim Dollar, DJ Tim Dollar,
Yes.
rest in peace.
Yes.
I told him. He used to tell me, "Yo, I want to do this house music thing. I want to do that. I want to get on the date. Why they don't be picking me?" I said, "Man, come on. You traveled around the world already. You've been to Europe. You DJing. What are you worrying about if somebody pick you or not? They don't understand how strong I am." I said, "They know. And if
Mm-hmm.
it's that big of a deal to you, do your own concert out
Mm.
and make it yours."
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, I never really looked and worried about being on a special stage or feeling like that's the only way I feel like I made it. I
Right.
believe I already did enough that if people don't respect what I do, they respect it. If they don't, they don't.
You're not worried about it.
No, you shouldn't. You don't. If honestly, if you have time to worry about what the next person thinking, you're already taking time out of your creativity and what you can do for the move forward.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. I just I can't help but jumping on that. You know. So my I'm gonna say my other personality. I'm the unusual suspect, and I say that because most of the events will be, and I say it with love and respect, are the usual suspects, meaning that there's a certain group that are going to play most of these events. So let's just say, for example, there's 100 events this year. And so let's just say on average they had five DJs on that card. All right, could be more, could be less, whatever. But let's say five. That means 500 slots. I'm suggesting to you 90% of those slots will be played by the same DJs and they'll recycle. You might put them in a different order, whatever, but it's going to be mostly those DJs. And it's very hard to break in. Usually you have to have a relationship in place or something like that. I mean, it goes without saying everybody, you have to have the goods.
Put,
But
I,
everybody has the goods, huh?
you know what the funny part is?
Yeah.
Do we supposed to set up events by what people might want to hear, or do they supposed to set up for the the events for what the people want? You might see Jay-Z at a million concerts, but that's what the people want.
Right.
So if that's what the people are asking for, that's what you got to give them. You might switch up. It might be a dopest DJ in the world, but if the people still want to hear Jihad Muhammad, what you going to stop him from booking him
Absolutely
because
not.
he booked him last week? You gonna book him again because
Absolutely.
that's what gonna bring them out. That's what you're gonna do.
Right.
So my thing is, all you do is keep playing your part. Because me, in that case, every DJ you name that's in Jersey Circle when it comes to house music, the main ones that people always say, oh, they always on every bill and stuff like that. I know them all personally. They like family to me,
Right.
and some of them actually are. Some of them is family to me for real. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm too
the
related
the
to.
the thing is, I never sat there, and I'm sure I could, like, yo, I need to be on that bill.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm not on that bill,
Mm-hmm.
I never even looked at it that way. And actually, I did festivals myself, and I didn't even put myself on the bill.
Got you. Well,
You,
I'm sorry, okay. Mm-hmm.
you got it.
No, I'm saying, so my thing is this, is all right, and I tease, and they know I said this.
Hmm.
I call them the usual suspects, but, the reason they are is because when you get them on the bill, you can count on certain things. You can count on people showing up for them. You can count they're going to deliver in terms of their DJing. You can count on the ability to work with them. But then I also say, the people who are putting on the events have the right to put on whoever they want to put on. It's their time, their energy, and their money, and their
That's right.
judgment about what makes a good show for them. And they have a formula or people that they work with, and God bless them. And I say, because I talk to a lot of people, DJs who feel like they deserve a shot, and they've been in the game for 150 years or whatever. But I say, well, I don't disagree with you that you have the goods. And, some of them say they play it better than this one. I say, well, I don't disagree with anything you say, whatever. I say, but nothing's stopping you from creating your own lane. And
Great.
but it's hard. I heard people say, yeah, it's hard. I said, yeah, anything was easy for them. I said, no. If you feel that you have that much of a musical message to deliver, then go do it.
That's right.
And then if people
That's
pick
right.
you up, they do. If people don't pick you up, they don't. You create your own flow. So I agree with you there. And like I say, it's going to be another interesting summer. But the fact of the matter is, and this is another thing I will say to you, is that like most people say they like new stuff. And I think to an extent that's true. But I think if you want to go further with any given audience, let's talk about an underground audience where they're coming knowing they're not going to recognize any song, but they're flowing to the beat or that flow or that DJ. You're going to play familiar. I'm not saying you got every song, they got to know every song, but for the most part, you're going to play songs that people know, can relate to, can sing to, and dance to. So those are some other things. So again, I say, if you don't like that, which is your prerogative, then go do your own thing.
Right. That's right.
So that's
Mhm. Or, in the words of Biggie, just bust through the door.
kick down the door. Never mind. Okay. The door rated. No.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on, sorry. So I told you, house music DJs have hip hop in their background.
Yes.
hmm
Yes.
Um. Okay. Any final thoughts or anything you would like to highlight as we come in for a soft landing?
Oh, I always want to say thank y'all for having me up here,
Okay.
and hopefully y'all stay tuned because I always have something coming up. I know me and Kwa, we just did a show yesterday. We had the legendary Voices of Intruders last night. That
Oh.
was a beautiful success. They did a great job, a great job. And of course, like always, Quad came and delivered afterwards. I was like, oh man, he gonna get on after me. It's over.
Love
No,
his
but you know,
speech.
Speaking.
he just a strong person that, you know, if you want good energy, he always try to deliver. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like about him. And he keeps me in a positive mode, as well as we all should try to stay in a positive mode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Positivity
Always.
rule.
Mm-hmm.
It takes too much energy to be evil or angry or upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much energy. Just be positive. Be happy.
And the funny part, I found out that that's just not a word no more. It's not just a phrase.
Mm-hmm.
No,
It's,
it's brave life.
it really is. It's actually, this, doctors say it takes so much energy out your body when you're angry,
It
Mm-hmm.
does.
Right. Right.
It
and it
does.
actually can make you sick.
Mm-hmm.
I have smile lines in my forehead because I smile a lot. And I get them with
There
pride.
you go.
Uh-huh. That's the people.
There you go.
Yes.
Speaking of intruders, so I've done this Mother's Day event. The the only time we didn't do it was when we had COVID, but
Hmm.
I've been doing. I was thinking about it. I remember some of the songs I played back in the beginning. Now, are you ready for this?
Ready?
This is how long I've had this account. OPP, uh,
Mm.
Janae, Hey Mr. DJ. That's how far I go back with them. But let me tell
Nice.
you how we always end the set. We always play the intruders. I'll always love my mama on the end.
Mm.
So
One of
you
my
mentioned, I
favorites.
know he had the thing with intruders, and then Cowboys the girls. I want to know your name, and then go on and on and on and on. So anyway, those were some of the groups because now you don't see. I'm not saying it's not they're not out there because you can find them, but now you don't see as many groups. At least I don't see in the modern era compared to back in the day. It's very
Oh,
different.
definitely not the same.
Right.
You're not
Yeah. And
They don't want to split the money no more.
okay. Yeah, you're
So
right.
that changed a lot because of that. Honest.
Yeah, but fair enough. But like I said, so one of the things that goes away when you don't have those groups like that is you don't get a lot of the harmonies that you used to get back in the day. And I'm
That's
not
right.
saying that people aren't doing a great job today. I'm not saying, oh yeah, today's trash. I'm not saying that at all. Because they're very good. But it's just a different flow. So anyway, so when you brought up
Mhm.
them, you're gonna, I mean, and I guess once you hit a certain point, you kind of age out. So you can see the intruders on a private show, but you're not really going to hear them. Even if they put out something new, you're not likely to hear them on the radio. But
Well,
now,
see, you got to remember too, with the technology and
hmm
everything now,
hmm
one artist could do all the harmonies.
right,
Just like
hmm
when you looked at the Ray Charles movie, when Ray found out, oh, you could go back and retrack. Oh, I just do it all myself.
uh huh,
And he
Mhm.
emulated every song, broke down everything the way it wants, so you had all three pieces.
hmm
You know, but there it's very rare to hear a 4-part harmony these days. Period. Anyway,
right, right,
but but if you have all three pieces, now you got an artist say, no, I sung all three pieces of this. So I
yeah,
don't need to pay nobody else. But when I'm getting ready to do a show, I
hmm
just hire you to do the pieces for me.
got you,
Mhm.
got
So it
you,
saved me money and I get all them big checks.
got you, got you. Yeah, well,
Okay.
there's some logic behind it.
Yeah.
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 Any final thoughts and how do people follow and support you?
Well, they always could go, Anthony Utility on Facebook or Utility Entertainment on Instagram. I have utilityentertainment.com, as well as I have, we setting up a couple of more shows, so they need to stay tuned to that. I'm working with Qua a little more. We're supposed to be starting to do it once a month. We're gonna bring an artist. I know right now we're waiting to lock in the date. As of today, we might have the date, but we're gonna bring in the legendary Spinners for our
Oh,
next
okay,
review group.
okay, all right, all
So
right.
we got in plan, and we're gonna keep it the same way. When you get a dinner, as well as the show. So we're giving it back that old school vibe when you go to, back in the day, what they had like, was that the jazz place. I'm trying to Birdland and things like that in the
Okay.
past, where
Right.
you come, it came with the dinner, everything was there. Then you
Yes.
could buy your drinks as you come. So
Mm.
Mhm.
we're trying to give that little small vibe, intimate vibe. So far, the first run it came out pretty good. It was nice, calm, intimate, and you was able to really talk with the artists. And we're gonna start trying to, since I work with so many artists, I have some favorites in there. I'm sure y'all knew I worked with like CC Peniston,
Okay.
Melissa Morgan, and
Mm.
uh,
Talking.
I'm trying to think you name them. There's so many. John Legend. I worked with. Actually, we working. I'm trying to see if I can lock him in. That's gonna be hard because I don't want to pay that kind of money for him. But but I'm working on it, and it's so many. Just to name some, it's so many artists out there. Like we had Peanut Guns on Saturday. A lot of people didn't even know me and him have a nice little relationship. I worked with him plenty of times. And when you work with so many artists, now it's like you can tell them to name a few, and you be like, I guess. And then next thing you know, people like, yo, you forgot you work with this person, that person. I hear that every time. Like, but I never look at it as, oh, they're famous. I look at them as their friends. So and we just here to build and make more happen. So you don't. I never cared about naming them. When I work with them, I work with them because we're trying to make something happen. I'm not doing it to be a fan.
Right.
Mhm.
Now the person I would love to work with, even though she getting too old, is Patty, of course. I want to give her that one energy back one more time. I think she still got it. I want to do a ballad with her. I already kind of got it in my head and everything. What kind of song we could do?
Right.
That's
Right.
a great idea. And I think Patty would be down with that because she does have a younger man, a younger beau. She
Yeah,
still she still has it. She still got it.
yeah. Patty got this swag. I seen her not too long ago. I seen her. Actually, that's the first time I seen her live. Um, that was NJ Pack. I seen her. Shout
Thank
out, shout out to my fiance because she treated me to that surprise because I'm a big Patty fan.
Okay. All right.
thank you, fiance.
That's all right. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I just tell people to keep moving forward and everything to fall in place. You have and it could just work out.
Right.
Even when you think that the chips are down, it's so many life stories I could tell you for days and days of things people just counted me out and I kicked back in because one thing I never forget, you don't give up and you don't give in. That's one of the quotes my grandmother always taught me and always broke down to me. And I always stay with that. So I never give up and it always work out.
You know, along those lines, as we bring this to a close, I wanted to say, you know, I have a personal saying. I say this to myself a lot. I've been knocked down 25 times, but I got up 26 times. So you
That's
have
right.
to, you have to keep. It's just a lesson, a life lesson. And I gotta tell you something. If you think you're having a hard time, you need to talk to some other people, and you'll say, you know what?
Someone else is
Let me
having a
trade. I'll keep my problem. You keep yours. You know. And the one last thing that I always say, I say, hard times are like gas, and it came to pass. Anyway,
I like that.
thing is, there's always a positive in a funky situation. There's always a positive in a funky situation.
yes,
That's
Oh,
right.
yes, yes.
All of them match up, huh?
Yeah,
Gas, funky.
funky gas. Anyway, well, listen, Anthony, it's been a real pleasure.
it
Thank you
has
so
been a
much.
pleasure.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for taking
I
the
want
time
to
to
thank
share with
y'all
us.
for having me up here.
Absolutely. Also, too, I want to give a big shout out to Marcus, because Marcus is the one that Nathan
Good.
our program
Shout out to
coordinator.
Mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcus. Love
Yeah.
you. Mwah.
Mark gonna come
Well, I
back
like
out
you,
on y'all.
Marcus.
Watch out. Mark, I
Anyway.
knew Mark since I was doing clubs.
Yeah.
Mark was doing the club.
Yeah. 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 It's good. Yeah. Well,
Mark could
folks.
tell you. He said, what was that club? Club Miracles he had for teenagers.
Okay.
Mhm.
He- yeah,
Oh
we
yeah.
going back. We going back when I was probably like 15,
Okay.
14, maybe younger actually.
Well, actually,
So
I don't
we have
even
one
know of a teen
announcement,
club
Jen, before we
around
end
now.
the show.
I don't
I'd
even
like
know.
to make the announcement of my birthday party on the 17th. DJ Quad presents Steve Davis at the Touch Lounge on May
Oh
17th.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I most like I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be celebrating my official birthday on that day. Thank you, Qua.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Now.
Steve is an awesome guy, man. You don't get nobody that's so genuine like that.
Right.
He'd
Yeah,
take his shirt off your back,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
off his back. I'm sorry.
We will
There's nothing like resorting to silliness at the end. I love it. So you take the shirt off your back. I got you. That's so good. Hey, again, thank you so much, Anthony.
You got it.
Yeah. And listen, hey, you get anything, hit me up, tag me, let me know. I'm glad to push it right out for you. So,
I love it. I appreciate it.
absolutely. And don't even think twice about it. Just do it.
see
You got it.
Okay. All right, folks. We're gonna bring this segment to a close, and we're gonna go into the Shazam Free Zone, where we play nothing but brand new music. That's it. So we introduce new tracks, and we're gonna play it and say it, and you get to decide if you like it, you don't. But I'll just tell you one thing though. A lot of times, two things I'm gonna say about brand new music. People say they like new things, and I'm gonna say to an extent. The second thing I'm gonna say about new music, sometimes you like things right off the bat, and sometimes you don't. The third thing I would say about new music is that many times it has to be introduced by someone in particular that you consider a trendsetter. Then you can say, okay, I need to be on it. But I need to tell you, new music can happen any and everywhere. So, as we go into the Shazam Free Zone, check out new music. All right. So, Chop, we're going to start it up on your end here. We're going to start it, and we're going to pick it up over on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Dan Sofa House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. I am the unusual suspect. And what's your name?
My name is Tina Net.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's All right. Thank you.
that's been said. I realize what's at stake. From the moment I met you, I just ain't been the same. And you're in my life. We both know that's a hard